And there's Madalena. Perfect.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, it seems we're live and direct. Hello, everybody. This is the community meeting for SUMO September 12th, 2018. We have quite a packed agenda, and we have quite a few people in the room. We have Roland, we have Madalena, we have Rachel, we have Chris, we have myself. And if anybody's lurking, hello to you, or lurker, or lurkers, plural. Okay, so we have quite a few pieces of news to share with you. Let's go with that then, and let's go through the agenda step by step. As a reminder, if you're participating and if you want to have your name memorized in our agenda for the event, there's a participant section. You can edit it and add your name and profile link in there. But we're going to jump into the community roundtable where we put things from the community side that have popped up over the last week. And basically, there's a thread that was open over the last week or two regarding a discussion, simply a discussion, nothing binding or anything like that, not a big project, but the pros and cons or the things we could lose or gain if we were to move the contributors section of the forum from Kitsune to Discourse. The discussion is going on, so there's a link in the notes if you're interested in joining in and sharing your thoughts and ideas. But we had the Edmeister posting a couple of questions, and I took a shot at replying to them. I'm just going to read them out here so that you have this also recorded in the meeting, and we have people in the room who can also add more context to this. So that's also going to be a good record of this. Well, anyway, one of the questions Edmeister poses, I wonder why Mozilla makes the entry barrier to getting user support so high. Why not use real forum software and not this pseudo-social networking software such as Discourse or SUMO using right now, like what we're using right now? Or maybe my perception is skewed due to my age. So yeah, my question is here, like, what would be real forum software? I've seen different things floating around, like PHBB and like many different PHPBB, sorry, many different bulletin board ideas. There's of course the likes of Stack Overflow and other things for support that are kind of dedicated and separate. They're third-party entities. From what I understand, we have a very good setup for what we need. So basically, we have a very tightly connected platform to the product. So many things between the product and the support pages work really well, or work the way users would expect them to, and it has been improved over many iterations. The visuals might be slightly updated, sorry, outdated. Jeez, I'm losing my words today. But generally, Madalena is going to talk about this really soon, so I'm leaving it for now. And on the other hand, Discourse has a very modern infrastructure, but it's not focused on support. So there are, of course, pros and cons to both of these. And that's why the discussion was there in the first place, just to kind of see what people think about this. Another point made by the Edmeister is that Mozilla is providing support for Firefox on social media websites and on Reddit. How about a place for Firefox users who feel more comfortable in a traditional forum setting? So this is the thing. We are in many different places, or several different places, because we try to be where the users are, and they happen to use Twitter, and they happen to use Facebook or Reddit. So of course we do try to drive most of the support traffic to our forums. So from Firefox, if you click the help link, you go to the site, which we have, which has a forum and so on. But we definitely need to know or want to know where the users are, where they ask the questions, where the issues pop up, because it's also a matter of, I would say, well, visibility, as in if people keep posting problems about Firefox in different places and we don't answer, it's kind of a big problem. Madalena's trying to make a point here, and she will make a point.
Yeah, just a quick comment on this, because I think this is a very interesting discussion. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time, but I think it's interesting to see how actual, like, social media and the internet in general has changed, and it has changed behaviors, in the sense that right now there's like a lot of people, especially people of a certain age, the younger ones, who are not, like, if they have a problem with something, they're just not gonna search for anything. They're just going to go on Twitter and tweet about it, and that's it. And then it's expected that these people get an answer there. So yeah, it's not the ideal behavior, but it's what happens today. And yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation, but also something that we need to acknowledge that we can try to try to drive people to sumo. It would be definitely easier for all of us, but like the user behavior has changed in very different ways. So anyway, that's just
Yeah,
my
I'm,
take.
I think it's a very good point, and I'm pretty sure that if we were doing user support in 1998, it would all be mailing lists, or like some sort of a newsletter thing, or I don't even know what. Like it would be maybe a website that points people to a subscription service or something where they can subscribe to a mailing list where they can ask questions and we reply, and then we have, I don't know, FAQs sent out regularly or something. Like I remember
Yeah,
mailing lists being quite cool.
like this stuff is also addictive. Like I started to like check Reddit out just because it was something I heard about, and then I just got completely immersed in Reddit, and I'm like, I have Reddit open right now. So they mess your mind up. I'm telling you.
Exactly, that's it.
Just
But yeah, that was
yeah,
the second one.
the-
And then there's a very good question mentioned by Edmeister as well. Why can't our forum, the support forum and the contributor forum, use a Firefox account registration for users who come here first time? I'm well aware of the history of all the various separate registration schemes that Mozilla has had for the various Mozilla websites, but I surely expected that Mozilla Persona would be enabled for all Mozilla sometime in 2011. That's a very, 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 very good point, and I think Firefox account registration is something we could potentially put on the roadmap for Kitsune if our marketing devs are happy putting it there, and if not, we would have to know what the reasons are. But yeah, that sounds like a cool idea.
so I think this is a very cool and interesting idea. What I would love to do with this idea is actually put it on the roadmap for. I mean, on the roadmap is too much to say. On the discussion list for what we're working with the Open Innovation Team on right now, which is basically uh, there's more analysis happening on support.mozilla.org and like trying to identify what are the main pain points of the site, um, and what are the things that could be improved from like a user design point of view. And we all know, for example, that the AAQ is definitely something that would be drastically improved. The ask a question flow. Um, so yeah, that's definitely an interesting discussion to have in this context, because also like we know that the Open Innovation Team is trying to bridge some of the gaps we have in terms of like logins across Mozilla, logins across like contributor participation, like multiple um, like Mozilla contributors who participate in multiple projects, but they have to go into different places all the time. So yeah, I'll write this down for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally think that this could be something that drives the adoption of Firefox accounts, and that it kind of makes logical sense for users. I would say nobody would be like against it, because if you're using a product and it has an account service, like a thing that allows you to identify yourself and then also offers you bonuses like saving your stuff in the cloud and whatnot, then using this for support would be kind of like, obviously I'm using Firefox, I'm going to have a Firefox account for Firefox support. But it's just my 2 cents. Great, cool. So very happy with the discussion so far. Please join in. There's a link to the thread in the community roundtable section of the notes if you want to. And we're moving over to the cool community news
Wait,
of
wait,
the week.
wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
sorry, Rachel. Sorry, I
So
didn't see you there.
for this last question, can we add pros and cons from a support perspective too? Like what it looks like right now. For example, there's usually three different types of sign-in questions that we'll get. How do I log into my forum? How do I log into Firefox? And how do I log into my device? And sometimes we'll get whether it's a website or another service that's on the device that they're trying to log into. Um, this piece would be very interesting to see how if SUMO becomes a main front part for troubleshooting Firefox accounts as it has been. It'd be really great to see a better user experience if that's the case. Because Bugzilla right now uses GitHub, and two-factor authentication is a big blocker for some people to log into some sites. So yeah, just consideration. I'll add that to the discussion too. Would really love to see that experience be a little bit nicer. Yeah. Okay, that's it. 2 cents done. I swear. Back to you, Michal.
Thank you, Rachel. No, it's important to add all the possible cents so that we get to a full dollar or euro because they happen to share cents. Anyway, moving onwards to the cool community news of the week. We have a reminder from May about the Ivory Coast event. It happened in May this year and it was quite cool indeed. Abakar tweeted about it. And yeah, we had 11 schools talking about support in Mozilla, and I always am inspired by what is happening in the Ivory Coast for Mozilla in general. And Abakar is one of the core people, if not the core person for anything happening around Mozilla and Firefox and Mozilla support in that country. So really, really cool to remind everybody of his great engagement and great involvement. And we have a note from the SUMO Day.
Yes, so SUMO Day was awesome. It was really cool to see a whole bunch of new people in there answering forum support questions, which was kind of awesome. And I don't know if this was an error in script, but we had 185 people who actively logged in last week as a contributor. So that was pretty cool. If you see new people, say hi, say hello. If they have any questions, show them around. Thank you. And we have one more Sumo Day on Friday if you missed it. We love to see you online answering questions on Friday. And we will see you there. Thanks.
Perfect, thank you. I just want to click around a bit because I want to make sure that we are on top of anything happening on the channels or on Slack to make sure that nobody's posting any comments. But we seem to be in the clear. So moving onwards. Contributors of the week. I wanted to nominate 2 people. We have Michele. So Michele did an awesome job of causing a small problem for a redirect in Italian and then solving it. So thank you very much, Michele, for the very clear messages. He was worried that he was giving me a headache with the private messages he sent me explaining what's going on, but they were very clear. I just couldn't attend them straight away. And then Ton is still on the hunt for the Forever Phantom KB articles. So the KB articles that pop up cause the dashboard numbers to go up, the percentage of completion to go down, and then they never reset. There is a link to the bug there. We're going to look into this. Hopefully, we're going to solve it once and for all. Fingers crossed. Updates and announcements. We had Roland in the room until quarter past, and I'm sorry it took us a while to get further, but we have some product updates. We have 2 crashes for 62. So people have issues with NVIDIA drivers, and I'm using NVIDIA here as well, so I should better watch out. And the Eurobar indexing that stopped working in 62. So that's a serious issue. And there's a series of bugs that Roland is pointing out, and generally you can click through. They are about crashes or like small issues happening for certain bits and pieces. There will probably be a dot release to fix these issues once they get resolved, but updates on this will reach you as soon as we get them. And then we have the platform updates. Madalena.
Yes, I'm just trying to add a link to this, but it might have to wait until I'm finished with my speech. Anyway, the updates for the last redesign may be going live soon. The last redesign being the one that we have started working on May. You should have already seen the mockups and commented on some of the changes. I'm just adding a link. There were obviously some issues with the last iteration of this. And now we have the fixes. There's a link with PRs for the latest fixes that I'm going to add to the agenda here, so you can check that out. If everything looks fine, I'm just waiting now for John, one of our SUMO devs, to update the dev site with these latest fixes to make sure that everything looks fine. If everything looks fine, then we're going to go live sometime this week. So fingers crossed. Um, and make Sumo look like an obituary. Okay. I love that comment from Philip. Besides that, what's going on? I think I mentioned this before. So we are also looking at the phase 2 of the UX redesign. That means we're this initial phase was just like adding a few bits and pieces here, just make sure that the look and feel of Sumo is the same with the new Mozilla branding, with loads of black and white in it. Now we're looking at basically at the site and the general user experience, trying to understand where are people dropping off, what are they doing on the site, what are the sections of the site that are not that good from a user experience, and what can we do in order to improve that. For this, right now, what is happening, we're working again with Annalise and Tal. You might remember them from May, April. So these are the people who performed an analysis around the community, and you've seen like that whole like strategy presentation, etc., etc. So now they're doing the same type of analysis on the site itself. So again, like user behaviors, understanding what people are clicking on, where are they going, all anonymous, obviously, and what are the things that we can do to make that better for them, including like information architecture, how do we present products, and the articles, etc., etc. So, Annalisa and Tal, these are an analytics partner based in Denmark. They're doing this right now. Once they're going to make some recommendations on what we should do. Once I have those, I'll definitely share with everybody. That doesn't mean that we're going to follow that to the letter, but we're going to have once we have done an analysis up, we're going to start a discussion about how we're actually going to approach this and what are the things that we actually want to do on Sumo. We have help from the Open Innovation team. People might know George Roeder and Constantina and Lucy and all those amazing people who are working on participation at Mozilla. So they will help us with designing this. So there will be like loads of conversations happening. So stay tuned. And obviously, if you have questions, you know where to find me. And now I'm going to post this link.
Thank you, Madalena.
Thank you.
Okay. So, moving onwards and forwards, thank you for the platform updates. By all means, please feel free to edit the section in the forums, in the notes, where we have the platform updates to include all the additional information you shared with us. And now moving on to the KBN localization update. So we have the KB stats from August finally live in a big spreadsheet with loads of numbers in. You can take a look at the numbers and see how things are changing up and down a bit. Not too much. There are no huge jumps there. Well, I mean, you could say that, for example, yeah, one of the biggest jumps up, I would say, is the popularity of, for example, Indonesian. Sorry, Indonesian, and I think we also had quite a few people jumping in from Brazil more than recently. Yeah, almost 1.5% more of the viewers, of the page viewers. But that thing aside, things are more or less stable. But I wanted to call out the work done by the amazing people listed in the notes. So we have Ahmad in Arabic, Sarah and Nazir in Bengali, Kichin, that's username for Bosnian, Soset, that's also another username for Czech, Jürgen and Kim in Danish, Artist in German, Jim Spencer's in Greek, Angela and Kevin for Spanish, YD, Mozinet and Goofy for French, Mahtab in Hindi, Kalman in Hungarian, Michele and Simone in Italian, DSK Mori and Mars in Japanese, Seulgi in Korean, Ton in Dutch, as always, Tidranio in Polish, Marcelo in Brazilian, and Manuela in Portuguese. And then we have Valeria, Antisisko, and Harry for Russian, Kusavica and Marcel for Slovak, Lan in Slovenian, and Chen and Wangsheng and Bor for Chinese. So all those people worked their heads off in August. Thank you so much for this. A lot of edits in the KB and over 520 edits in the last 7 days. So since the last meeting in the KB. So that's already a stat for September. So thanks to everybody who contributed to this. And we're really happy that you're with us and you're helping the users understand what we're trying to post online to help them use Firefox in a better way. The top 50 sprint for Arabic, Gujarati, Hindi, Telugu, Bengali, Bosnian, and Slovak and Tamil is in effect. So I'll share more details with you next week about this or in a blog post soon. We'll see. But generally, those locales, some of which have completed the top 20, are moving on to the top 50 this month. And we'll see how far we get with that. I'm going to ping the people who have been contributing or who were pinged initially about this quite soon just to see if there are any blockers on their way. I think Arabic is already there anyway because Ahmad is just amazingly awesome. I cannot really say how much he's putting work into this. It's just crazy. So that's it. More updates in the near future about this. And then we have the International Translation Day coming up at the end of the month. So the last day of September is usually the International Translation Day. We'll see if we do anything special about this. But if you have any ideas, please let me know. I'm talking to the Altanen folks about making something nice or cute or small or special for the people localizing things around Mozilla. We'll see how this goes. Now, without further ado, over to Rachel for support forum social support. Let's go.
You betcha. So support forum, we have been just answering questions for Sumo Day and for the release of 62. Thank you so much for all of you on the front line helping out, answering questions, keeping people happy, and reporting issues when you see them. They made it into the product uh, first week report as promised during a cross-functional meeting, which happens in about half an hour. So fingers crossed. Way to go. Thank you, team. This week, we had 81% for all questions answered, 61% for desktop. Uh, Probably expected more questions this week with the issues around bookmarks descriptions disappearing and the 52 no longer being supported for Windows XP users. Those were the top two complaints, if I remember correctly. Speaking of which, we have, these are the top 10 viewed new questions since September 3rd. That means within the last week they've had over 100 views, where at least 70% of them have been organic new views. So not just the people who are asking the questions or answering, but also people who are looking for new answers. As I look to ask questions in the Ask a Question flow, the first one is a new crash on Windows 10. It's a D62. There's no bug filed yet for it. I'll probably want to check that one out. The thread is not yet solved, so if anyone has any extra information on that one, that'd be really helpful there. The second one is that the descriptions are no longer visible after an update. So there were two suggested workarounds. Trinu, he's not only is he awesome in your localization, but he also answers top questions. So way to go. Basically, there's two workarounds that have been suggested, both in this question and in Twitter, where if you export your bookmarks to the HTML format, the descriptions are still there. And then there's an add-on called Bookmark Notes that allows you to go in and check out those descriptions. So it looks like that new feature removed in the UI uh, the ability to see the description, but hopefully they're still there. The next one is sign in. People having trouble signing into their Firefox Focus. Little did they know, Firefox Focus doesn't have a sign in, so maybe that's a new feature that they're looking into. Then there's changing the name on an account. So there's two ways to change a name on your support account and the Firefox sync account. So you have to be signed into your sync account to change the name that appears on the profile, but for the support forum, please feel free to contact an admin. You can change it in your profile, but the username will stay the same. You need an admin to do that for you. So thank you for or answering questions like that. That is part of the discussion from earlier where, hey, where do we find help for signing in? As a user, they as a user, it's not as obvious when you have a domain that has many different sign-in authenticators. Nothing works to recover bookmarks in history. You can solve it by a new profile sometimes. It looks like for this particular thread, creating a new or recovering the bookmark places SQL file didn't work. So last case scenario is you can just copy those files into a new profile. Then there was an unknown issue in your FAQ. So this was a certificate on a particular website. So easy way to troubleshoot certificates is click on the lock icon on your top left URL profile, check to see more details, and see if the issuer or the domain name is valid on the website ssllabs.com. There's a tool in there you can plug the domain name in to see if that's valid. Make sure you are traveling around the internet in your browser safely. XP no longer supported. There is always going to be the FTP site, but know that they will no longer receive security updates. And then when downloading the 52 version, you get the download version for 60. Again, there is a link to that FTP site. Active contributors this week. Again, 185. Who knew? You guys are awesome. There's a lot going on this forum. Okay, social support. Please welcome back Gerd, Herbert, MKLL, Mick, Pravin, Sharath, Salim, and Dishna. Thank you so much for joining us for the first Sumo day and the Sumo week for Firefox 62. Happy to have you. Again, I've mentioned Sumo Day thousands of times, so I'm just going to skip that part. And if you see any new tags, please do add them to the sheet. We're in the process of getting this into the KB, but these new tags help communicate kind of the top issues that people are seeing in Twitter for the product managers, and that helps make decisions around prioritizing fixes in the product. So thank you very much for help with that. Metrics. We had 271 replies last week, 177 Army of Awesome replies, and 293 helped me. So percentage-wise, that's more than 100%. So thank you for helping extra people and extra fine. But that also means that some of the threads have more than one back and forth comment. So thank you for sticking in with those people who need a little bit extra help. It doesn't always get resolved in one reply. So way to give awesome quality support. And we have 4 active people in reply and 7 casual supporters. Way to go, and thank you so much for joining us. And that is it. Back to you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make a joke on the side that, you know, going over 100% with performance or getting something done, it makes me kind of feel very communist. It's like, this is what has been in the propaganda media over years in different places, you know, under communist regimes. It's like, yeah, we're going 120% of the norm. That's it. Well, anyway.
Corruption.
Well, it's just we're so good at, like, 100% is not enough for us, you know. It's like people around support are just not satisfied with 100%. We can go higher than that. Okay, thank you so much for this. Moving over to the fun zone because we don't have any other updates on the way. There's a joke from NKL about switching to Firefox from Chrome for certain reasons.
That's really funny. I saw
Yeah,
that. Really
take a
funny.
click, take a look. It's just a click, and then you can share a song for the Sumo Day in the off-topic forum. So yeah, apparently the playlist is still going strong. I don't even know where the URL for that is, but if you have it, please add it to the notes, and that's going to make everybody's life easier if you want to add a song to the playlist. Cool, perfect. We are a bit over time. That's terrible, and I'm sorry for dragging you over the half an hour or half past time mark, but that's it. We are going to talk to you soon. We love to hear from you. Of course, in the meantime, you know where to find us. Stay frosty, and we'll be with you online. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.